busy all the time, isn't she?
Yeah, Zoe's talking about transfer to Iowa State next year. I said, well, you gonna play basketball for them? She says, no, I think I'll try softball. She really likes softball.
Oh.
She likes it. So, that was it.
Yeah.
We tried to talk Cassidy into going off for softball at Iowa State, and she wouldn't try.
Oh,
She
really?
likes the field hockey though.
Yeah, ice hockey, she,
Or face hockey. Oh, okay.
Has anybody
She's
heard
still
Blake
playing.
on there yet? No.
Blake, you on there? Evidently not.
No Blake. Good evening, Anthony.
You can sit there, Blake's not here.
Actually, I might can I steal this? I don't fit in there.
Too many extras.
White.
Did you find that dog? Whose was it?
What name was yours? I've got like
The
three.
brown one by Cleo's.
Getters.
They have it back in town? Was it brown or was it black? I don't remember.
Remember? Yeah, put it away. He was in Illinois or something.
I didn't,
a big black, it was a big black
Was it
lamb.
black
Yeah.
lab? I
yeah, I
can't
think it was a
remember.
black one. Oh, is that Blake?
Blake, you on there?
Yes, just stands up now.
Okay,
Jesse, can you
we got
see-
another minute before we
It
start.
seemed super friendly, but I don't think impressed.
Yeah, it was good, and then luckily Cleo came out.
Oh.
She's like, if it's not back there, and they pushed the inside door,
Oh,
where they have it inside, so it's cold. Must have jumped out and didn't have a latch, his girlfriend. So yeah, we put it back.
yeah, it was no nuisance. It was,
Yeah, it was nice. Nice.
my worm did it, and all of a sudden they were going nuts. And normally it's somebody's walking through Gerhardt's, walking his dog or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's not.
Oh,
It's a big dog, too.
Mm-hmm.
this is, the gal was
Yeah, we want him.
Jerry.
Jerry, yeah.
Yeah, she walks.
Oh,
through.
Jerry McIntosh.
She walks her dogs back there, we told her she could.
Yeah.
Just.
All right, we just hit 7 o'clock, so we will bring this meeting to our Grant. Would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance before we begin here, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. We'll have a roll call of the city council.
Monte,
Present.
Gerhart,
Here,
Tiltis,
Here.
Winklehorst,
Here.
Van Wert,
Here.
all present.
All present. I'm just gonna make just a real brief opening comment as we welcome all our visitors to be with us here tonight. However, it is not open for complete public discussion. And this evening immediately, just for order's sake, and I guess I will make a statement. Lisa can help me on this if I don't have it exactly correct, but if somebody wishes to make a public statement, it's better to make it known before the council meeting.
Yeah, if they can let you know, and
Right.
then you can call on them when we get
Right.
to that agenda.
Exactly, so if anybody questions, that in the future, just kind of make that known if you would please, so now we'll have the approval of the agenda. We have a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Joe. Linda,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Brooke,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Grant.
yes,
That's approved. And on consent agenda, we need a motion.
so moved.
Second.
Linda,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Brooke,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
And
Grant.
can you-
Yes,
Can you tell me who, so Linda, you made the motion, and who seconded that, please?
Grant,
Grant.
Grant, and then
Okay.
Linda. Grant and Linda. Okay, number 5, resolution providing for a
Can I
notice
clarify
of.
that, please?
What's that?
So you said Grant and Linda, so Linda and,
I made the motion, Linda
Okay.
seconded it.
so, just a second here, please. 'cause
Okay, sure.
Just kinda had a little interruption.
That's okay.
That's okay.
We got a
Can't do
second.
two things at once anymore. Okay, thank you.
That's okay. All right, number 5, resolution providing for a notice of hearing on the proposed 25-26 fiscal year budget amendment. We need a motion for that.
I move we set it for March 23rd at 7 o'clock at City Hall.
Joe, second.
I'll second that.
Brooke. Linda,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Brooke,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
That's been approved for that date. And then a resolution authorizing the execution of the amendment of to the gas supply agreement with PIFA.
Did you guys read all that?
Yes, I did. Give you a headache.
It's a little dry.
I read most of it.
Yeah.
I move we extend our contract with them for gas purchases.
Did you made it? You,
Yes. I
okay,
made both.
Joe.
Second.
Joe and Grant. Linda,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Brooke,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
Okay, then the resolution of the city of West Bend to adopt an electric reliability plan for the West Bend Municipal Electricity Utility. We have a motion for that.
Yeah, I move we adopt the resolution as stated.
I'll second that.
Joe and Linda. Linda,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Brooke,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
That's been approved. Number 8 says mosquito control contract.
What did we pay last year?
The
You
same
know.
as this.
Okay, I thought it was similar, I can't
Yep,
remember.
it's the same.
I
So
move-
moved.
I'll second that.
Whatever.
Okay, Brooke and Linda. Very good. Does he do that? Do you call them to do it, or they just do it on,
I
they
think
come?
they set it
No,
up.
they
right?
schedule it.
They run the schedule?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Okay, number 9.
Can we get a roll call on that,
Oh.
Andy?
Linda,
Yes.
I'm going to, Joe,
Yes.
Brooke,
Yes.
Blake?
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
All right, now we get to number 9. That's the engineering service agreement with Veenstra and Kim Incorporated. I'm just gonna make one quick comment on this before we get into, discussing this, and I've had some feedback myself and thinking that maybe it would be just as good to go to an independent, rather than Veenstra and Kim. And I have the only time, all I know about Veenstra and Kim is that they were here, presented it to us last time. I have, and I guess the reason I say that is because, being that they've, we have ISG is well known by the city council. And Veenstra and Kim, and this, and don't take this as I'm not persuading anything, but maybe just as well, and you visit about this and see what you think about it, is to have somebody that doesn't know either side of the equation, really well. Veenstra and Kim's been involved with the lagoon. Like I said myself, I had no reason to. But it was just a suggestion was brought up, and I thought it sounded good to me. But you talk it over and decide what we want to do with this.
When were they involved?
We're just the council.
Yeah.
The council's gonna decide. Yeah, I guess you weren't here when we started. Yeah,
This is to give another opinion
right. It's just get another opinion, see.
for what we had.
Yeah, I'm under the understanding that they can use, Lisa said that the information is available. That they would be available to whoever does it, to go, or if they,
Right, we could send them whatever they request to see, to give the city council some feedback on the project itself.
Like I said, myself personally, I have no idea. I'm not an engineer person myself. I have no idea. So yeah, it's open for discussion.
Well, my comment would be, there's been some information out there, and I don't know if it's absolutely 100% factual. And I would suggest that maybe the community, before they really make their final thoughts on that, should come to the March 18th meeting and get a little more information. You know, we started working with ISG in 2019, I believe, on this project, if my memory serves me correctly. And a lot of the suggestions that come up have already been explored by the council and presented by ISG. I think the system that we've selected for them to design for us at this point wasn't even available when we started this project. So we've looked at a lot of different things, and you know, so I think the community and the council, we should make maybe wait and make a decision after that meeting. I think maybe we'll have different input, but
Just for information, that's a week
Yeah.
from Wednesday.
yes,
Is what
yes.
that meeting is, yeah.
Mhm.
Lisa, I know you and I had talked, did you find out who engineered the project in Algona?
Yeah, I have the name in my office and,
Okay.
it's a firm that's based out of, well, they have, an office in Mason City.
Okay.
So they would be fairly close.
My comment is I feel like there's enough community concern that we should spend the minimal amount compared to the project and get a second opinion. I maybe feel like using a firm that is not biased at this point is the way to go versus nothing against Veenstra and Kim. I'm sure they're a fabulous company, but I feel that there's been a lot of community input to them from people trying to say what we have will work, and I feel like maybe a unbiased opinion, if we get a second opinion, is the way to go. But that's my comment.
I would agree with you on that. Be nice to have somebody that's not really aware
Mhm.
of what's been going on so much.
And the other opinion is good, to have all that information.
I have
We're
no
making
objection
such
to
a
having another,
serious-
I have no objection to having another opinion myself, so.
I mean, on a $7 million project, I know Veenstra and Kim is coming in just under 4,000, and a different engineering firm, maybe more. I do not know, but ultimately, that few $1,000s is a drop in a bucket in a $7 million project. And maybe they'll come in with the exact same thing, saying, yes, this is what we need to do. But at least then we can show the community we've done our due diligence of exploring all options. That's my feeling. But I do want to go to the meeting next Wednesday because I would like to hear ISG from beginning to end, because we've started this project in 2019 and I probably forgot stuff. So I think it's great to hear from beginning to end how they got where they got. So that's my vote. I guess I would make the motion to get a second opinion with an unbiased engineering firm. That would be my motion.
And I would second that.
So we have a motion and a second. So we go,
Yes.
Linda, Joe. And Brooke,
I'm gonna vote no.
I got it right, Brooke made the motion.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
Brooke and Linda. So, Brooke,
Yes.
Blake,
So, Mayor, are we still gonna follow up on what's on the agenda with voting on having B&K do the, work on a second opinion?
Blake, my motion is to get a second opinion, but with an unbiased engineer. Nothing against Feenstra and Kim, but I feel like going with an agency that's not aware of the situation is a more fair assessment of what we ultimately need. So there would not be another vote unless someone else made a different motion. Correct, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, with what was on the agenda and following up on meeting with, Letterbraid and Spokane, yeah, there was a lot of misinformation from ISG. And now both Ned and Darren are 100% in favor of going through with what we were gonna vote on, having B&K do their project to the tune of like 3,800. And now,
I don't think I agree with that statement that there's been a lot of misinformation from ISG. Blake, I don't know what you're basing that on.
well, starting out the meeting with Ned, ISG simply took samples on kill days, which is 4 times a month. I mean, and after that, Ned pointed out
You
a
might,
lot of very good information. That
you might wanna read the code. Blake, you might wanna read the code. Not ISG's responsibility to take those samples.
Who says that?
This is Joe. The code reads, it's the business's responsibility for sampling and a place to take the samples. So I don't think you can blame that on ISG. I think that's a misstatement.
Okay, then just from a dollars and cents standpoint, both Ned and Darren agree this is a tremendous amount of money that they may not have to spend. And they're willing to do some very significant things within their companies, that will take care of a lot of this problem.
I don't think that's what we're discussing.
Yeah, I would like to interject too, Blake. Yeah, I think we need to, you know, I guess, I can just speak for how I know Darren and Ned both, and I really don't, I guess I don't see why they would object to an outside, we're gonna basically do the same thing, unless they would have a reason they would like, if they have a relationship with Veenstra and Kim. But if they do, that, to my reasoning would be, that'd be more reason to get an outside. So I guess right now where we're at tonight, Blake, is just trying to decide, I guess, do we want another opinion, and as the motion was, to get an outside firm. So I guess, you know, we need, go ahead.
My motion or my thought is do both. Let's get B&K here ASAP. And I'm looking at a list of emails and phone calls and text messages from our community. Looks to me like they're pretty much doing the voting. We need to get them here. And then we can also go with someone else and maybe even another. I mean, it's nothing wrong with a second opinion, a third or a fourth when we're talking $7 million and B&K is charging 3,800 and your guy or someone that you bring to the table is charging 1,000. I mean, I'm willing to accept all opinions at this point due to the fact of misinformation from ISG.
Sure.
Okay, ultimately, Blake, you need to vote on whether you're okay with a second opinion from an unbiased engineer. If you wanna make another motion in the future about having Veenstra and Kim do a second opinion, that is your choice, but right now we're just voting on whether we want a second opinion from an unbiased engineer firm.
Okay, you're sometimes hard to hear.
I'm sorry.
How you voted.
I'm sorry, so Linda voted yes, Joe voted no, I voted yes. Would your vote be yes or no to get a second opinion from an unbiased firm?
Yes.
So Grant.
Yes. For an unbiased vote.
Okay.
For an unbiased firm.
That was the motion.
So that would be carried. And that's not to say, I mean, at least for my opinion, you know, we're just, and I will very much vouch for the fact, Blake, that there's definitely, I would say, a very large uptick in community interest in the last, I'll say, week. And I can personally vouch for that. So yeah, I mean, to me, still one of the big questions, my unanswered questions, if I can give my 2 cents for this whole thing, is I've been working on this. I talked to a state senator last week, and he got me in touch with somebody from the DNRs up in the ranks someplace, and then they got me in touch with somebody else, and I'm gonna make a few phone calls tomorrow. But we definitely need an answer from our people at DNR, just exactly where West Bend stands. Because I'm kind of, I mean, right now it's kind of bouncing all over the board, and at least for myself, speaking for myself personally, I need a definite answer. You know, what can we do? How much time do we have to do it? And, you know, that's where I'm at. Any other comments?
I agree with the mayor on that one. Yes, I feel that's, you know, we're taking baby steps here, maybe after, what we're doing with D&K or another outside source is work with the DNR and maybe go to someone further up the totem pole to where they will listen to it as a community and a city council and not have an engineering firm sitting across the table and give a very strong opinion as to where we're at and be willing to sign off on it as this is what we can do. Because yeah, we're getting very different opinions from different DNR people.
That we are.
Lisa, can I ask a question? So we have to submit, like a compliance schedule to the DNR? Not a compliance schedule, our plan of action, that's not exactly what it's called. Does the engineering firm do that, or do we okay, I didn't know if we as a city did that, or if the engineering.
The engineering firm takes care of that.
That was my question, thank you.
But it would be at council direction.
Correct, yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, with that, we'll close number 9.
So in the minutes here, as far as engineering services agreement, Veenstra and Kim, there was no motion or a second on that particular agenda item, correct?
No.
No.
So what we want to say is that we have a motion and a second, that you do want a second opinion, but from a different firm
Correct.
that has not worked with the city in the past, nor the Lagoon Preservation Committee.
Correct.
Okay.
That was the decision I understood.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, can I make one comment?
Yes, you can.
To the Lagoon Preservation Committee, thank you all for coming. Please do not try to contact an unbiased firm, because then we may have to withdraw it and go to a different one. The goal would be to have someone that hasn't talked to multiple people saying this will work give us an opinion. Sorry.
I agree.
I appreciate everybody's support, but if we truly want an unbiased opinion, we need to try and keep it that way. That's my comment as a council member.
I'll second that comment, or third it. Go. I'll third it.
I agree.
Absolutely. It's a work in progress. I have a lot of confidence we're gonna get there too. Just to let you know, I really do. I do. All right, number 10. I'll read that. Manages, it's a cybersecurity backup quotation.
So this would be changing our current IT people from Arion to Visual Edit. Visual Edit is someone we've been working with over the years with the purchase of our printers and copiers. Arion is doing away with the current managed firewall that we are using and switching to a different brand. In talking with Vigil Edgit, they said most governments, use the one that we're currently using, so I think we would like to stay with that and just renew the, subscription with them on it. And, then you can see through the quote, the other IT services that they'd be providing, which would be the backup, and then also antivirus.
Is there a substantial increase in cost?
There would be some increase in cost. Did you have a chance, everyone, to look at the comparison that was in your packet between the two companies? Right now with Arion, we don't really have I guess, monthly fee to assist us with IT. They come and fix what we need and bill us. Visual Edgit would be a little bit different than that. It would be, they would hopefully be able to dial in and assist us. Arion, we could, go that route with them too, if you want to stay with them. I'm just thinking it might be simpler for future, new employees here at City Hall eventually, that it would be good to, have the same company that's managing, I guess, the computer systems and the printers and copier.
You predicting a change in personnel, are you?
Did you hear, Lisa?
What was that?
Grant said, are you predicting a, switch in personnel?
Possible? Now Grant, you threw me off.
Sorry.
There you go.
Does this have something to do, or can do more with the front desk too, or were we,
Okay, so.
I thought I saw something
We
in
will
that.
eventually, so something with Vigil Edgit too that I liked was that, we currently have Microsoft 365 with Arion. We paid a year subscription with them on that, so that's why it wasn't on the Visual Edgit, quotation, because we'll let that run out. But Visual Edgit said that most governments, there is a 365 that we can get through a government account, which would be substantially cheaper than what we were paying with Arion, that piece of it. They also talked about changing us from the ncn.net domain to a .gov domain in the future, which I think that would be what we would wanna do.
I'll second that.
And another
Very
good thing about Visual
To go
Edgit,
to government, cause I've actually run into lots of troubles not having a .gov email, getting search warrants back, and they won't send me the stuff cause I don't have a gov, so I'm actually trying to get my own right now. So that would be definitely beneficial
Is this what
for
the sheriff's
everybody.
office uses also?
Yeah, they got a gov. All
yeah, I was just gonna
Emmitsburg
say that,
PD,
that's a benefit
everybody
also,
has
so.
all some type of .gov, Emmitsburg Police, PD, .gov, yeah. Yeah, I think it's a process, but I've been waiting, 4 weeks now, but, yeah, so it would be good, that would be good.
I guess I move that we go with Visual Edgit. Move to that, it seems like it's beneficial.
I'll second that.
Brooke and Joe, so Linda,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Brooke,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
That is passed. Number 11, we have gift of property. Someone might have to fill me in on this gift of property.
So the property is if you look out the back end of the community center to the west, there's that little slab of cement back there that the city does not currently own. It is owned by Greenmar Incorporated,
Sure.
which Mary Helen Mertz
Right.
is affiliated with.
Okay.
They have decided that they would gift that little piece of property to the city to be part of the community center.
That's on the community center side of the alley, is it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right behind them.
Yeah, years ago, they parked equipment there when they had the store where the lumberyard is.
Well, that's how they get.
That, I wondered how they had.
That's how that came about. I can remember, does that date me?
Yes, it does.
Well, I can still remember when John Deere was in that other building where the
Yeah,
lumberyard
That's
is.
what that's about, so.
Do you need a motion on that?
Yes.
We do.
I'll move,
Go ahead.
I'll move to accept the donation of the property.
Okay.
Second,
Right. And we've received some property.
Yes.
Oh, Linda,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes,
Brooke,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Grant.
yes,
Now we receive.
So, for just future reference, so once we get this all transferred, the city will incur the costs for, all of that. And then, the community center would like, to replace that slab of cement. It's in pretty rough shape and the water really sits there. So they would, be willing to replace the cement or do a joint project with the city. So just keep that in mind. We'll, get a quotation for you to take a look at maybe the next meeting and see if you would like to do that.
Okay, very good. And number 12, we have, the wind farm battery storage projects.
that's probably me. And NIMECA, we're working on, or NIMECA's working on getting us some additional wind. Our current contract with, our wind farm expires in 2031. I don't remember what month, but, so we're out that far. But they're negotiating with a couple other wind farms right now on pricing. And we've looked also at battery storage, which I'm not too crazy about from my evaluation of that currently. It's not a real proven commodity yet for battery storage, for charging and discharging. I guess I'm a little hesitant to say that's the best way to go, but I think currently our wind is about 43% of our energy purchase. When we got in our contract with the wind farm, we were shooting for 59%. And we've had enough growth, so that's gotten reduced by our growth, the percentage reduced, plus the wind farm, they're not producing at the level that was predicted, so we're down to about 43% of our, energy needs right now are coming from wind. And, the rest of it is actually from coal. We own part of a Walter-Scott 4 plant that Mid-America owns the majority of it, but we own a megawatt of that. So, but to give you an idea, in 2006, we were just under 15 million kilowatts. And currently, we're at 22.5 for our energy use. So we've grown that much, like 7 million kilowatts. So we need to be doing something, and we will get doubled up a little bit, because one contract's 2031. The other ones, they're looking at two different ones. One might come online in late 28, the other one in 29, so we could be doubled up for a little bit, but we can sell the excess to the market, so that's not a terrible big issue. Currently, we're around 3 cents what we're paying, and they're predicting that we're gonna be up around 5%. So, and NIMECA would like some direction if we're interested, and at what level. And I'm thinking after double up. If we end up in that 45-50% range, we'll probably be good. Energy costs aren't gonna go down.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
You said
ma'am.
right now we're at 3 cents,
Mm-hmm.
and then you said
They're expecting it to go to 5.
5 cents.
Yes.
You said 5%.
Oh, 5 cents.
Okay, thank you. I was like,
That's what I meant to say.
Time out, that's a big
5%
jump.
increase or-
No,
Thank
5
you,
cents.
just clarifying.
And it is a pretty good jump, you know, but,
Right.
but that's your purchase price at the node, not, that doesn't include any transmission cost and yada yada, all the other stuff that
Yeah.
goes into the
Yeah.
pricing. So, but, I think with our wind purchases, we've been able to keep our current rates pretty favorable, I think. So, I would think we go with that 45 to 50%, you know, and that isn't set in stone until they get they just want a little direction so that we can tell these wind farms as a combined between the 13 communities, how much energy we're gonna purchase out of that block of wind, so. And we can fine tune it later, if the price comes in at 6 cents or 7 cents, we don't have to do anything. But,
So they just kinda want a direction, correct, or a
At this point,
consensus
yeah.
to,
yeah, we're not gonna take any formal action, they kinda just wanna know, okay, do you think you want this much? We'll proceed with that in mind, and then when we get down to signing the contracts and all that, then we make our final decision. So, and they're gonna continue to look at batteries if they come up with something, but my opinion on the batteries is, we looked at batteries 5 years ago, and the company we were looking at it with, they've got some batteries out there now, but I would say they're working the best, cause they degrade quite a bit, and, you can only charge them to 95%, then they lose so much a year in degradation, and then you can only take them down so much, so maybe you end up with 80% that you can really use in there, you know, and, I'm not convinced that's the way to go yet from the conversations we've had that I met with, so. But I think the wind is okay with route to go yet. So,
I think that's an appropriate amount.
I agree.
shoot for that and see where the pricing comes in and.
Yep.
Okay, well, I
We know
got
we
that,
have to do something. once
Yeah,
that one blows
well,
over, so.
we don't wanna be sitting here without and then paying off the market when the market continually goes up, so. But-
That's my opinion.
So we just need a consensus on that then,
Right,
don't really need.
and so a consensus on the wind and then a consensus on the battery, so, is everyone favorable to the 45 to 50% range on the wind?
Yes,
Yes,
And then battery storage, Joe suggested that we may not want to move on that at this point in time. Is that the consensus of the rest of you?
yes.
Yes.
yes,
And Blake, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay,
And we'll continue to monitor that battery thing if they come up with something great, you know, or the pricing's right, but, NYMECA's gonna continue to monitor that, but I would say we're not participating.
Sure.
At this point.
Okay, very good. We'll move on to number 13, and as you can read, there's been a trespassing issue in the city, and Anthony's gonna kinda give us some, kind of an overall update on, I guess, fill us in a little bit on
You
what
want
can
me
be done, what can't be done.
To start it, okay. We were having issues out at the lagoon, with people, one individual going in there, he probably means well. We had a talk in, I think it was late November, that it is gated, it is locked, it is fenced, it is not open to the public. There is discussion about city property that is open to the public. City Hall would be open to the public. You can come sit in here all day if the door's open. If there's a closed door that is not open to the public, so if there's a door open, it could give you access to go in there, you know, to talk to somebody. But back to the lagoon, it is fenced, it is, locked, and it is gated, so you can't get in there without a key. When you do go over the fence, it is trespassing. And this individual was talked to, I don't remember the first time on why, obviously, somebody saw him in there, and then last week, I was given a picture that was posted on, the Lagoon Preservation Facebook page. I was talking to Joe Camaro about another issue. I asked him who got the picture, cause I knew he was on the committee. He said Kent Wolf. I did talk to Kent about the issue. He said he took it, it was his picture. I reminded him that by him going in there, that is trespassing, in that we would talk as a city on how we wanted, if we wanted to pursue charges or not. I think that's the gist of what happened.
Sure.
Other than, one second, other than when he took the picture, he is messing with equipment too. You know, he opened a manhole, he's just not walking around taking pictures. He is touching stuff, and with conversation with him, he wanted to see the valves that were put in, and he wants to run them. And I reminded him he does not work for the city. And he said he's paying taxes. Yes, we pay taxes, and we all pay taxes to live here, right? That doesn't give him the right to go out there. I gave him the scenario of if City Hall's closed and the door's locked, we pay taxes, we all own that, right? So I can break the door down and go in there whenever I want, right? And he said no. So, I mean, he knows the difference between trespassing and not trespassing if it's locked. And in the end, he did say that Blake gave him authorization. And I'm gonna touch base on that. No city council member, no mayor. The people that run that are the only ones with authorization to go into those places. They are elected officials, and they have committees for different areas that they hire employees to run those. They do not have keys to get into those places. So for the lagoon, this is the issue at hand. Trevor and Jeremy have keys for them. I've told Kent multiple times, that's who he has to talk to. If he wants info to go in there, I don't know what their rules are. So that's, I know you wanted to say something, Blake.
Yeah, I'm kind of the guilty party here. I did give him permission, not realizing all the information that you just gave.
Yep.
Then my question is, as on the lagoon committee, do I have the right to go in there?
No. You would talk to Trevor and Jeremy to let you in. Do you have a key to get in?
Talk to them, get a key from them, or have them just?
They would take you in there, cause they're the ones, in the end, yes, you're on the committee, but in the end, they're the ones that run it. They're the ones that are in charge of it and take responsibility for whatever happens in there. So they would have to let you in or take you there.
Okay, fair enough, I understand.
Okay.
More than one person asked me the question, why is it okay for Lindy to go in there? Yes, she's got sheep. Did she, I mean, is that an exception? Does she have special privileges?
They worked it out with the city, and I think gave her a key to let her sheep in there. Once again, work it out with the city. That would be authorization, right? they got authorization through who runs it to get in there. So that would not be trespassing because who runs it is in charge of it, gave them that permission, right? So, same as you telling him, I know it's a probably honest mistake that you told him that he could go in there because you're on the committee. But now knowing he does not and you do not, it has to go through Trevor and Jeremy. Because they are the key holders to that to get in there.
Okay, fair enough.
Any other questions?
Do they have to be with the person?
That is up to them.
Okay.
They run it.
You do have to be mindful too of the property liability insurance.
Right.
So there is liability when you're allowing the public onto those types of facilities. So just be aware of that too.
So you just wanted a direction if we should do anything further, or what we should do further after you gave us information, or that's what we need to decide?
Yes.
So in other words, do we want to press trespassing charges?
Yes.
I feel it was a bit of a misunderstanding, and at this point I would say no, we don't press trespassing charges. However, if it happens in the future, you're on your third strike. I mean, and I guess Trevor, as a city council member, my vote would be that if anyone is in there, they're in there with you and they are not touching anything. If you wanna open something and show them, that's your business.
Sure.
But that's just my opinion.
I
The
agree.
guys are the responsible parties. at the end of the
They've been
day.
trained, they know how it works.
Yeah.
And I think we have a better understanding now
Right.
of what all it entails, so. We
That would
agree.
be my vote.
So with that all
No.
said, then we will need a motion the motion would be to not press charges.
At this time.
At this time, I mean, I guess it happens again.
Yeah.
Please,
I won't even ask.
thank you.
And I'll just comment too, I agree with that. I don't get the vote.
I think
Like?
Blake seconded it, I believe.
Oh, okay. So we had, who made the motion in the,
I did.
oh, Brooke and then
Brooke.
Blake, okay.
Is that right, Blake? Did you second that?
Correct.
So Linda,
Yes,
Joe,
Yes.
Brooke,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
So it is carried that no charges will be
this
pressed.
time.
Well, on 14, did you just give us the police report? Or do you have one?
It's
you-
that's next.
Do you have any questions about it?
You're next.
That's it. That's all
Okay.
I got for my report. You got it.
That was great. Actually, it's appreciated.
Yes.
We appreciate it. All right, we got, you probably you read the electric department operations report? And then,
Can I make a comment on that?
Sure.
So if you, look at the last page of his report with his spreadsheet that shows what the, different towns owe each other. And you can see that West Bend's, we were owed 17,515 from Grettinger, 19,039 from Pokey. Those are down from what they previously were. So we are working on the distribution, system. Pocahontas and Grettinger have been here, so we're hoping to see that continue to come down.
The new Trevor's going well?
Mhm.
Sounds good. I assumed, but.
okay, if nothing else on that, we have committee representative updates. Any updates?
I just went to the Casino Grant Awards. We got several from West Bend, the fire department, the library, the grotto, the chamber, community center. I think those were the main ones, weren't they, Lisa,
Yep.
for the city? And then, of course, the school and the city gets their money too,
What
so.
was our, the city award?
Okay, where is it at?
Those are down just slightly from
How were
last year.
they?
A little
Oh,
bit.
there we go. The city award was 31,969. And there's another one for 33,408.33.
So 60,000.
That's all I have.
Any other committee reports? Anything going on?
I kinda gave my electric report, so